stupid thing that's just like, oh, we're gonna go back to default. I hate OBS sometimes. I wasn't even muted. It's just that OBS decided to go to, we're gonna go to default. Anyways. Hello, welcome in everybody. I am Lacrima Servas, your Stardust Guardian and variety streamer. I know I'm very late. I apologize. Stupid thing didn't want to work. But we're gonna be talking about the con and then some changes. I know I made an announcement in my Discord last night. Only an hour and a half. We're not gonna talk about that. We're not gonna talk about that. Anyways, we're gonna be talking about the con along with some changes that will be happening in the future regarding my IRL life. So yeah. But before we do, there are a couple people that I need to thank for the follows. I need to thank Koizumi Kaito, Hazmat409, Mellow Wolf Uwu, and Siobhan Chevlar for the follows. Thank you so much for the follow, and I hope you guys enjoy your stay here in the Constellation Garden. Yeah! Let me see. Con was a lot of fun. I am sorry I'm so late. And I'm so sorry that the stream already started off scup. But, yeah. Another thing that I should mention, but kind of feel bad for mentioning. Rose, hey Rose, I can't stay, but I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you, Sniper. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a good day and a good time doing what you need to do. But yeah, let me see. Oh, I added a new panel onto my Twitch. Some of you may have noticed, some of you may have not. I have added a tipping page on Stream Elements and a Ko-Fi. This is not a thing of words. Do not feel obligated to donate if you do not want to or you do not have the funds to. I will stress this time and time again. Do not feel obligated to donate or subscribe if you do not have the funds to do so. You guys tuning in, watching, lurking, that's more than enough support, and I'm very, very thankful to have you guys here nonetheless. That's just there in case you guys don't want to do the Twitch subscription thing. Hello, hi Duality. Hi. But yeah, aside for that, I made the rules look a tiny bit tidier, and simplified in quotations them a little bit more, so it isn't too much of a jumbly mess. The bold is like, here's the Cliff's Note. Everything else before or after the numbered is just like, here's a little bit of explanation on what this rule means. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. I know I haven't streamed for like almost a week. Yeah, I haven't streamed for like a week. I had planned on doing a short stream in the hotel room. The internet was not kind to me over there. Oh, there was no stream. But yeah, I had a lot of fun at SAC Anime, minus the mild possible heat exhaustion that I suffered on Friday night because I neglected to hydrate myself. I have water. I have water with me. I'm hydrating. I promise. I just completely forgot to do that Friday on the first con. Thank you for the hydrate redeemed, Duality. But yeah, I hope you guys had a good weekend. I hope it wasn't too stressful. Yee! I am failing at this whole talking to stream thing because I am so late and I feel so bad, and I'm just like that weird awkwardness that I get whenever I'm just 5 minutes late is present in me. But because I was like an hour and a half late, I'm just like, please don't hate me. But thanks for not kind to me. I could not get my hand cam to work, so I decided to switch gears and make a PowerPoint. And PowerPoint was taking a lot longer than I initially thought it was, because I wanted it to look somewhat nice. And making a 3D model and then gotta rig it, so that's hard. However, I'm realizing a poly count of 28 to 3000 is a lot more than I thought. Yeah. It is. I say this as if I've gone further than the blockout stage of my own 3D model. I haven't. I have not. So I really can't say anything, but like, it's a lot of polygons. I'm also less sleepy. And I went to bed at a decent time, and I woke up at a decent time too. So like, I don't know. Conventions! Hi Dovira! Hi! But yeah, I made a PowerPoint because the hand cam I could not get to work at all. Didn't want to struggle through it. So I made a PowerPoint. PowerPoint looks basic as all hell, but it works. Yeah. That's the max amount of polys I'm allowed for my assignment, and right now I have done the body, no hands and feet, no head, and no clothes. I'm about 370 polys. Ooh. Can you stuff me in your luggage next time for free admission? Yee. PowerPoint. Why that emote? Why that emote, Omega? Did I say something? Also, I'm not cute. Do not listen to this slander. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Despite what you and the other VTubers that I met at the con have said, I am not cute. No, no, no. Small cutie. I am not small. I am 5'6". Thank you very much. I am 5'6" at 186 pounds last time I weighed myself. I am not small. But yeah, I am procrastinating right now because I have not made a PowerPoint since like high school, and I used a theme and template. So it should look nicer than what I would have done on my own. I'm still nervous regardless. Anyways, I am procrastinating. Yeah, let's switch. Okay. Alrighty. Sec Anime Summer 2025 goodies and VTubers. I misheard 580 pounds instead of Oh my goodness, I would not be able to do that. Oh my goodness. Business meeting time. Yee, although it's like a fun business maybe. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. And I feel like I went overly detailed on this. Anyways. Sec Anime. Stupid thing. I have to click. I decided to do a quick slide on what the history of SAC Anime is. Very, very brief. SAC Anime started out as a small convention in 2004 at the Sunrise Mall in Sacramento, California. Over the years, it grew, and now its home is located in the Safe Credit Union and Memorial Auditorium. Memorial Auditorium is absolutely gorgeous. I believe they held the Cosplay Masquerade there, and honestly, that is like the absolute most beautiful venue to hold a Cosplay Masquerade. Moving on. SAC Anime mainly hosts English voice actors from Western cartoons, English dubbed animes, and video games as the guests, along with some Western comic artists and cartoon character designers, such as we had the character designer for Kim Possible and Danny Phantom. There, we had the character designers for Clark's the cartoon. If you haven't seen Clark's, go watch it. I have no opinion on it because I haven't watched it. Programming is a little bit sparse. So it has the guest panels, so where you can go and talk with the VAs about their work and things like that, or their side projects if you know what their side projects are, such as Critical Role with Critical Role, fan panels. One of the ones that I attended was a droid building one for Star Wars. I mainly went because I was super curious on how does one make a homemade droid. It's actually not as complicated as I thought it was, but also not that easy. There are different ways to build a droid, from 3D printing to a metal frame with metal sheets, a wooden frame with metal skin, and it's just really cool. I also learned some fun little droid facts too, including the pink asteroid mech named QTK9 or something like that. Something like that. Pink asteroid mech that became canon in the Star Wars universe because Lucas loved the story behind that asteroid mech. Basically, a father made that mech for his terminally ill daughter, so she would have somebody to watch over her in the hospital. Lucas found out about that story and made it a canon droid in the Star Wars universe. So yay! Along with the fan panels and the guest panels, we have a Friday night swap meet, which basically people sign up and they bring things that they're trying to sell or get rid of. Oh, I didn't know he voiced Jotaro, but I knew he voiced Law. Yeah, I knew Matt Mercer voiced Law. Would love to meet him someday. Would absolutely love to meet him someday. Oh, Friday night swap meet. It's basically kind of like a garage sale type of deal. So, people bring their stuff that they want to sell or get rid of for bargain prices. Just to kind of make up some of the money that they may have spent or lost on X amount of things. I have bought fabric scraps, I have bought figures. By figures, I mean Nendoroids, and I bought the entire 6 volumes of Black Butler, where some of the volumes are signed by the English VAs for, I think, May, and definitely Sebastian. There may have been more, but I haven't found them yet. So, yeah. Hi, GoPro. Hello. Alright, and then we have the Cosplay Masquerade. For those of you who don't know what the Masquerade is, it is essentially a cosplay competition. Sarah Spaceman does a much better explanation of what the Masquerade is, better than what I will be able to do, but here is the Cliff's Notes of it. The Cosplay Masquerade is a cosplay competition divided up into three categories. We have the novice or the beginners, the journeyman or intermediate, and then we have the masters. Masters is obviously the harder one, and it's the one with the most renown and the one where you'll see a whole lot of technical skill being applied. Novice is the one where I would likely apply into if I were to do a masquerade myself, which I do have plans on doing so, but I just haven't yet. It's scary. But novice is more for the beginners. They'll still be looking for technical aspects and accuracy to the characters, but it won't be as clean as the journeyman or the masters. Cosplay gatherings are fan gatherings are fan gatherings made by the con attendees or by the con itself. I go to one cosplay gathering, at least one cosplay gathering, and the one that I usually typically attend is the what's the word? The Twisted Wonderland cosplay gathering. I have issues with how they did it today, but let me finish this real quick. And then for a little bit of nightlife, they have live performances. Last con, they had a new girlfriend performing along with somebody else. I don't remember who they are. I have the book, so I can just look it up real quick. Is this the right one? Nope, this is 2024. I don't have the book with me. But yeah, so we have live performances, and then works, oh my goodness, raves where DJs can go and do their mix and people can go and dance or hang out. And then on the 18 plus side of things, a drag and burlesque show. Most of you probably know what drag is. Some of you may not know what burlesque is. Burlesque is, as I classify, like a classy stripping. And these are all done by novice, by people who have been in the industry for a while. And it's just a very friendly and fun time at the times that I have gone to. Mm-hmm. There's some amazing drag queens and kings and some burlesque performers that I would love to see again, but I haven't had the opportunity to. I did not go to any of the drag or burlesque shows that SAC Anime was holding this year because I failed to hydrate. And they also cut off the line pretty early because there's only like a small room that SAC Anime is only allotting this for this show. So it's a small room that they try and fit as many people in with it still being safe and still allotting room for the performers. So they cap it pretty early. So yeah. But all the times that I went, it's been fun. I'm a little bit sorry for all the performers if they ever see my face and they're just like, oh, she's not really into it. I promise you I am. Your guys' performance is fantastic. I'm just tired. It's at the end of a con day. Cons are mentally exhausting. But yeah. Right, let me discuss how SAC Anime handled the cosplay meetups this year. Yeah. So normally the cosplay meetups are held upstairs on the terrace area. That is the area where people feel it's like on the con grounds. It is close by and everybody's familiar with where it is. You can't really miss it. This year, they decided to move all the gatherings over to the Memorial Auditorium. Again, a beautiful, fantastic location for cosplay photo shoots, and for competitions and the Geek Fashion Show. But they failed to announce that until like last minute, according to the people who held the Twisted Wonderland gathering, which is a shame. Each cosplay gathering is allotted an hour. Twisted Wonderland within the US is already kind of a small fandom, so the fact that I saw many Twisted Wonderland cosplayers, didn't see them at the cosplay gathering either because they didn't know about it, didn't want to attend, or didn't know where it was. And our time ended up being cut very short at, what was it? 36 minutes? 36 minutes we finished up our meetup, and we all kind of like dispersed and did our own thing. But yeah. Regardless of that, it was a lot of fun. I just hope they plan a little bit better for that, and I'm hoping they move the meetups into the auditorium proper because it was outside. The outside is beautiful. The actual building itself is beautiful. However, when it's 90 to 100 degrees outside and most of us are wearing long sleeve multiple layers because that's what the characters wear, it was miserable outside. I chose life, so I opted to go with a with the blue tank top that I usually wear and an athletic skirt that was black, so it still matched on thing with the character that I cosplayed, which is Edea Shroud from Twisted Wonderland. At Starting 5, I still need to set up bots for that. Yay! But normally I wear like a pleather jacket, and I'm like, it is much too hot for this. I choose life, thank you. I didn't even wear my wig for most of the con day because I'm just like, A, headache, B, it is far too hot to be wearing like a wig that goes past my butt of synthetic material. Just, no, absolutely not. But yeah. Aside from the cosplay meetup and then the somewhat abysmal handling of the con tickets, SAC Anime was a whole lot of fun. I do hope that they can continue to improve and fix some of the issues that they face this con with the new management, but we shall see. I'm excited for next con because they're having we get Mirrors VA from K-pop Demon Hunters, and I'm so excited. So yeah, I need to finish my Susie or Sussy cosplay. I will probably be doing a couple streams like that, either here or I might make that a Patreon stream. I'm not sure. I do plan on opening up my Patreon. I need to figure out what I'm gonna do for patrons. Help. But yeah, and let's move on. The goodies. Alright, so first up, I was gifted this wand by a lovely individual who goes by the name Batman, or I Am Batman on Discord. Super sweet, lovely individual. I haven't really talked with them in the SAC Anime Discord just because I see a lot of names and I immediately am just like, I'm gonna stay back over here. Thank you very much. How was your con days? Con days were pretty good. It was hot, and I was working with a very limited budget that I set for myself to avoid like maxing out my credit card the first time that I use it. So, but yeah, went over what SAC Anime was, what some of my gripes were with it, and now we're on to the fun stuff, which is the goodies that I got. It wasn't a whole lot. Most of the funds were spent on food, so yay, food and hotel. So most of the stuff that I got were free, and I only bought a few high ticket items for myself, or for other people. But first up is a wand. I love this wand. It is very funny. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I currently have it in my hand waving around like a wizard. But yeah, no. So thank you to the lovely individual by the name of Batman, or I Am Batman. Thank you so much. They said that they chose this username specifically so they could say I am Batman, and I'm just like, I love that so much. Please don't change. Alright, next up, tiny little critters. So there are some people at the con who like to give out these tiny little trinkets, and I got a couple. As you can see in the caption, the cat was given to me by an Aki cosplayer that I was standing in line with and just chatting up with. Super sweet individual, very nice and very kind. Cosplayed Aki during the weekend twice, and then street clothes for Saturday, which I don't blame. Saturday was packed. Oh, I forgot to add one of Poppy Lope's cosplays on here. Damn it. I will have to find an image of her Aerith because it's absolutely beautiful. She does Poppy Lope does original designs for her cosplays. So she did an original Aerith that is absolutely one of my favorites, and I completely forgot to find a picture. But cat food's from Aki, and then the axolotl and the capybara were from Poppy Loaf. Absolutely sweet individual, helped me with gave me ideas for what to do for one of my future cosplays that I want to do. For those of you who don't know, I want to cosplay Amaterasu from the game Omyonji. Specifically, the version that I want to cosplay for her is the evolved skin. So it's very warm tones, a lot of reds and oranges. But the kicker for me is the big giant halo that she has. That's like floating away from her body by a couple of inches. And that is a very daunting prop and material, or not material, that is a very daunting prop that I don't know how to do or how to attach it to my body. But what she recommended was make the harness. I was initially planning on doing a corset body with the harness inside the corset, just because the dress itself and the robe itself is strapless and off the shoulders, so I needed something to stick flipper bones into, so the thing doesn't fall off of my body. So initially was thinking about doing a corset body for that, which is just a corset bodysuit for those of you who don't know, and then building off of that so it hides much more seamlessly. The heads, I'm still trying to figure out on what I want to do for the heads. I'm honestly thinking about doing like chicken wire, or maybe I don't know. I need to figure it out because it needs to be durable enough that I can pack it away, but yet light enough that it doesn't like hurt when I put on the corset. So yeah, I will figure that out. Alright, up next on the little figures, we have a homemade Raiden Shogun figure. I neglected to grab a business card or the name of the vendor who sold this to me and the creator, but it is a homemade hand-painted little Raiden Shogun figure that I absolutely adore. Look how adorable she is. I love her so much. She's safely with my other figures. Following by that, this is from the same vendor. He actually made a deal with me. I buy the Raiden Shogun figure, which was $15, and I get a poster for free. I'm like, a deal. Trying to figure out what poster I wanted was super, super difficult. I opted to go with this Neuvillette one because he just looks so peaceful and so calm. There was another one that I was thinking initially, which was a landscape version of him looking a little bit more stern and a little bit more badass, but I opted to go for the more sweet and gentle one just because I don't see that a whole lot. Plus the little otters and the little clownfish are just so cute and adorable. So yeah, again, neglected to grab a business card. Alright, next up, I was gifted this by my friend and my cosplay roommate. Uh-oh. Decided to grab some food. What happened? What did you do? Alright. While GoBro finishes up his story, my friend gifted me this Abby phone charm from K-pop Demon Hunters. It is absolutely adorable. I again do not know who the vendor is because I neglected to ask, and I don't know if they remember either. But cute little phone charm. My phone luckily allows me to like carry him around. I haven't put him on my phone yet, but Abby. Alright, these next two items, exactly like the caption says. They weren't, I didn't buy them at the con. A friend of mine went to Japan. It's like, what do you want from Japan? I'm like, because I was trying to figure out what to ask for that wasn't like super duper expensive, but also wasn't that easy to get here in the States. So I opted for some Twisted Wonderland merch, specifically these two. Let me see. I'm vibing, doing my GoPro stuff. I checked the phone. Oh, what the hell is that? Daredevil and Marvel Rivals Angela? Wait, Superman 2 announced for... That is soon. That is so soon. This is why I don't sleep. A lot of things happen, and I slept for like 2 hours. Only 2 hours. Only 2 hours. But man, Superman 2 already announced for 2027? That is soon. That's gonna come sooner than you think. Oh my goodness. Anyway. Anyways, I was tired and only slept like 5-ish hours this night, so I wanted to recover some sleep. Okay, fair enough. But yeah. So friend went to Japan, was trying to figure out what to ask for that wasn't super expensive, opted for Twisted Wonderland merch, specifically of Leona and Malleus, because I am one of those people who ships these two together, even though they hate each other in game, but I don't care. I love a good enemies to lovers trope in fanfiction. So I have a Malleus standee that's just a small little acrylic one, and then the Leona keychain. It's actually pretty weighty. I'm pretty sure it's made out of metal, so I'm like, I have to be careful with that one. But I absolutely love both of them, and thank you so much to my friend. I don't want to call them out just because I don't know if they want to be called out, but thank you so much to my friend for getting me these, Yeah. Alright, moving on to some more Twisted Wonderland stuff. I nabbed the manga for Twisted Wonderland. I want to get all of them at some point. I have all of Heart's Lobule, and I have the Anthology Volume 1. They only had Savannah Claw books, Savannah Claw Book of... they only had the first book of... what's the word? It is staring right in front of me, and I can't speak. I am on the same page as you are, GoPro. I can't speak. Okay, the vendor that I usually buy the manga from, because for whatever reason I have an aversion to buying anime merch online. Don't ask me why. I don't know. But they only had book 1 of Twisted Wonderland, Savannah Claw, which features one of my favorite characters. It is Leona Kingscholar, who's on the cover. And then Octanavale, which features Azul Eschengrato, who is very pretty individual, and definitely somebody that I can resonate with. To avoid spoiler, I'm not going to go too in depth on these characters in case you guys want to read the mangas yourself, which they are available online on various websites if you do a little bit of digging. But I would highly recommend checking out the mangas. They're actually really good if you don't want to play the game. And then the Twisted Wonderland anime is coming out next month. And I am so excited. Y'all had no idea how excited I am for this. It's been greenlit for 4 years now. 4 years! And it's finally coming out. And I'm so excited. I will be so sad if it's not available in the US. Because I don't want to have to pirate. Anyways. Moving on. This is one of the gifts that I got for my friend, Sento Ptolemy. This is a print of Fei Xiao by the artist Mochirin Art. Absolutely beautiful print. It is a small one. But it is absolutely gorgeous, and I really hope he enjoys it. Moving on, I bought myself some art from from Mochirin. I bought myself a Sunday art from Honkai. I bought these arts because I bought these art because these characters are pretty, not because I know anything about these characters, aside from Sunday's character trailer hitting into a little bit of controversy with NetEast, with some shots being almost one-to-one with another character trailer that NetEast released for Onmyeonji. But anyways, Sunday, absolutely beautiful. Love this print, and I'm sure the character is also fantastic. I bought this because it was pretty. Don't at me. Another one that I bought because it's pretty. Dan Hong. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing the last part of his name right, but as soon as I saw his character design, I immediately fell in love with him, and I'm like, I need this man. You will come to see my taste in men is usually those with long hair, pointy ears, and the personality that needs some work. So like yellow flags. Yellow to green flags. We're sad boys. I like my sad boys. But again, beautiful art from Mochiren art. I don't know why I put a space in art on this slide. I don't know. Tired. Russian. Yay. But yeah, another beautiful art from Mochiren. They also do playmats. So if you go to their Instagram or their store, it's all underneath the same thing, Mochiren art. So yeah, check out their art. Check out the product. It is absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. I had to absolutely restrain myself to not buy out their entire shop. I am an art fiend. Give me all the art. A Gundam print. Don't ask me which Gundam this is. I don't know. I bought this for my friend who likes Gundam. The same person who likes Fei Xiao. But according to my friend and my roommates, this is one of the classic Gundams. I could be entirely wrong. I have not fact-checked this. But the art is by Hagglefish, and they have a bunch of other really cool Gundam art too if you guys want to check it out. This is double-sided, so the Gundam itself and then the like shield or weapon for it, absolutely amazing and really nice quality art. Alright, haha, some more stuff for me. I bought press-on nails. This was the set that I felt suit me or suit my VTuber the most, because when I eventually do hand cam streams, I want pretty nails. I want pretty nails on the internet. I opted to go for the almond shape just because I like how that looks, and I didn't want nails that were too long to prevent me from doing like crafting or things like that. I have a hangnail. I should grab my clippers. I'll worry about that later. But I opted for these, and these are absolutely beautiful. My nail size really depends on the style of the nail, so I'm a medium to large. For pointier shapes like this, I'm definitely more of a large. For flat tops, so like the square tips, I'm a medium. The mediums fit me the best, but for pointier nails, this is the size that fits me the best. And they are by The Only Nails. Lovely, lovely people. I plan on bugging them for for a nail set for when I do Strawberry Miku at some point, because that is another one of the dream cosplays that I want to do is a Strawberry Miku cosplay. And their strawberry nails are so cute. Alright. VTubers! Sakanway, for the first time, to my knowledge, hosted VTubers. It wasn't part of their programming. It was just kind of like a thing that two boots were very gracious in letting us commandeer for the meet and greets. But yeah, But first things first, a huge thank you to the VTuber Research Club for putting together the meet and greets and for immediately handling the last minute change to the robot tours. For those of you who don't know, second we had or some of the VTubers at the meet and greets, and some of them who weren't, they all had plans on doing robot tours around the convention. However, the convention last minute said no, we don't want these. So VRC very quickly pivoted and they do with what they with what they did. And also a huge thank you to Rice Nation for being like the quote unquote robot, if that makes any sense. Rice Nation was the one who was touring the place with a tablet with the VTuber and mic attached to the tablet. Absolutely incredible human being, and thank you so much for all your hard work to the to both of these people, or to both the VTuber Research Club and to Rice Nation. Alright, first things first. This section was the one that took me the longest. I only included the VTubers that I met, which was a fair amount of them. But the first VTuber that I met was Hegachama from Invicta. Absolute sweetheart, and also the only VTuber where I got a picture, because he was the one who's like, "Do you want a picture?" I'm like, "Yes." Fun fact about me that I didn't realize: if nobody asks if I can have a picture, I won't ask if I can have a picture. This is a thing that my brain is like, nah, you're gonna be bothering them, even though I know for a fact some of these guys will probably be like, "Oh yeah, you want a picture? Go ahead and take one." Help. But yeah, Hegachama was the first one. Looks like a Twisted Wonderland character. So I believe the style is supposed to take after more of like the Ikemen style. But I can definitely see where you think he looks like a Twisted Wonderland character. I don't remember who did his profile picture. I don't know. I don't remember if it was his artist parent or if it was another artist that he had commissioned. But I went the hard route, which was go on the internet, look for pictures, instead of like using the like banners or the like pop-ups that BTC had or VRC had. And I'm like, why did I do this to myself? This section's the one that took the longest. And then if you guys want to go check out his Twitch or his content, I included his Twitch. I didn't have the brain power to include the rest of his socials, but his Twitch should have his VOD channel and then his Twitter account if you guys are interested in checking him out. Very funny guy. Absolutely love him. Love how done he is with a lot of the Invicta crew. Alright. Next one up, Emichu! Absolutely such a sweetheart. She was the second VTuber that I met. Could not find art of her for the life of me. So, this is art that she, that was done for her Uwu poster. I'm not sure if she's the one who did it or she commissioned an artist, but she in herself is an artist and an absolute sweetheart to talk with. I'm a little bit sad that I could not like hear most of what she was saying just because the volume was low, and then it wasn't until later on where they were just like, okay, cardboard as an amplifier, let's go. Alright, next up, Ravenna. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing her name correctly. She is an 18+ creator. When I met her, she was using a retexture of the Suica model that looked absolutely stunning. Could not find that picture for the life of me until much later, where I'm just like, I'm not going to change this. But anyways, yeah, go check her out. She was very fun and sweet to talk with, and had some really good insight on VTubing in general. Next up, Shiori Aikai. Uh, very, very adorable, very, very sweet. There are definitely some, feels like a fusion of Silverbill and Cotton. They might share the same model, Mama. Eyes are very pretty. Her eyes are absolutely gorgeous. A lot of these guys, I unintentionally matched in terms of what I was wearing, because I was wearing the purple kimono that I was going to wear for, or the purple idol kimono that I was going to wear, and cosplay as, but again, it was super hot and I was already getting a headache, so I opted to choose life over cosplay. Still wore the kimono because it protected my shoulders and my chest and my arms, because I'm god awful at putting on sunscreen. But Shiori was an absolute joy to talk with and was so sweet, and her model is absolutely gorgeous. Super silly, super beautiful, super kind. Definitely want to see if I can't try and take some inspiration from from her model design. But yeah. Alright, next up is probably one that we're all somewhat familiar with. Ilara, the heavy metal elf. Again, a really sweet individual to talk with. A lot of people had a lot of very nice things to say about the last two outfits that I wore for my con. I'm just like, I got them here, or I got them at this place. But Alara was super sweet. This is a picture of her old model. I couldn't find a good quality one of her new model, so this one was the best one that I could find of her old one. But yeah, very interesting design. But yeah, she was very sweet. She's a little bit chaotic. Y'all, behave. She was very sweet, and very kind, or very amazing to talk to. There were other people who wanted to talk with her, and I was running out of topics, so I stepped out, and other people stepped in to talk with her. But yeah, I'm behaving. That's why I'm using innuendos. Fair enough. Alright, next up, again, another VTuber I could not find a decent picture of. Found their post on Twitter of them at Sack Anime, so I use that. But this is Ixie. Ixie is very sweet and very lovely. Another VTuber that who was just as nervous as I was to talk to, but was so sweet, and I absolutely love the koi fish design and motifs in her VTuber model. Absolutely beautiful, and I love the sporty look to it as well. So yeah, I also love the little goldfish purse. It's so cute. But yeah, Ixie, super sweet, super amazing to talk to. Would highly recommend checking out her channel whenever you're able to. Next up, Mizure, another purple VTuber. One that I unintentionally matched with, but we were just like, hey, we have something to talk about. Yee. But very pleasant to talk with, very sweet. A lot of these VTubers, I went in, I'm just like, I'm gonna go talk to them. Brain went dead immediately, because I'm just like, what do I talk to them about? Help. But she was so sweet and so kind, and very energetic. So another one that I would highly recommend talking to. I believe Ixie and Mizu are both a part of VCharm, which is an indie VTuber group. So highly go recommend checking them out at some point. Iggy Wiggy! Most of us have probably seen her Twitter posts about VTuber growth and streaming etiquette. This one, she was super sweet and super kind to talk to, and absolutely, absolutely a joy. She is another member of the she's another member of the indie VTuber group VCharm. So I highly go recommend checking her out. This is her sleepy model, and then she has her goddess model, which was absolutely gorgeous when I first saw it. I'm like, oh. But yeah. Again, their Twitches are all on the slide, so if you all want to go check them out, highly, highly would recommend you do so. They're all amazing content creators and amazing individuals. Alright, more VTubers. The last one of the day. Sayu. I met Sayu. Most of our conversation ended up being about where we live, which we both live in similar in a similar area. I'm not gonna say exactly where because I don't want to be that person who doxes, but we ended up talking about the weather and our woes about where we live, and we're just like, nah. But absolute sweetheart, she ended up getting a line, which there's not supposed to be a line, but at the same time, like, I don't know what they expected, but absolute sweetheart, so bubbly, so energetic, and would absolutely love to talk with her again. Next up, we have the Moon and Sun twins. We have Artemis and Apollo. I'm pretty sure you can guess which one's who's and who. Both of them were very energetic and very kind and sweet. I could not find an image, a good quality image of their current VTuber models. I found an old one. This was the section that took me the longest because I wanted to include art of the VTubers and I couldn't find them for the life of me. So, But they were absolutely a blast to talk with. Definitely assuaged or definitely calmed down my nervousness with talking to them. I think Artemis is the one in black and Paula is the gold one. If I get it right, I'm jumping off the cliff. Yeah, you're correct. Absolutely right on the money. But yeah, no. They were a joy to talk with. They were both very unhinged. Hi, Sunny! They were both very unhinged, and like I said in the thing, they both wanted me to adopt them as pet cats, and they're like, we're fine with living in the basement, we're fine with living in a crawl space, we're fine with living in an attic. I'm like, if you guys are cats, then I'm gonna... I tried to get it wrong. How do I feel successfully about them? You're just too good. You're just too good. But yeah, no. These two, absolute joy. Would highly recommend checking out their streams for a good time. Next up, Ophelia Valentine. Reverse failure is my biggest disappointment. Alright, next up we have Ophelia Valentine, the vampire cowgirl who was so sweet to talk to. Val was super amazing and super sweet to talk to. I met Ophelia, yeah. She was super sweet to talk to. I don't exactly remember what our conversation was about. Probably about my kimono. But so sweet, so kind, and such a very soothing voice to talk to. Another person that I would absolutely love to get to know more. Alright, next up, Azuma or Suzuna Amano. Suzuna was absolutely adorable and such a sweetheart. Another one who was just as nervous as I was. This was during the time when they were trying to reposition so that way we weren't completely... That is definitely a gremlin. she definitely gave off gremlin energy. But she was such a sweetheart. I couldn't find a good image of her model. This was the closest one that I could find, and she just looks like a gremlin. But she was so sweet and so kind, and very, very nice. So would highly recommend checking her out. All of these VTubers I would highly recommend checking out. But yeah. Next up, this was when I realized that I could just use the poster and just crop it. So much work. Next up, we have Neko Yaru. Chaotic, very sweet and hilarious. Every now and then Goro and I just share a thought, and it is funny. Yes, I love it when you guys just accidentally sync up. It is hilarious. But yeah, Neko Yaru, super sweet, super funny. She's a 3D VTuber, or she used a 3D avatar at the very least when she was doing her meet and greet, and she had she had the booth that she was doing her meet and greet at. She had one of the shirts that the booth was selling to like promote and advertise, and it was such a clever way and so awesome. So yeah. Next up, Kayo. I feel like some of you may already know who Kayo is, but just in case some of you don't, Kayo is an exorcist dog VTuber. Super sweet, super kind. Our conversation was a little bit cut short because there were two fans. There were two fans of his who wanted to go talk to him. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I said goodbye, and I stepped aside. But then the two fans were just like, I'm too scared to go talk to him. Like, he's super chill. Go talk to him. Have we seen him on Voop before? We have not seen Kayo on Voop. I probably would have remembered if we have. It's entirely possible that he may have been one of the guests on Voop, but I'm not entirely sure. He does have his VODs on YouTube. You may have seen like his shorts. This is actually a screenshot from one of his shorts. But the VODs that I primarily watch are his cooking ones or his hand cam ones, just because I find them to be a little bit more interesting. But he has done collaborations with Taiga and a bunch of others. Taiga's the only one that I know because I watched their collab where they made Halloween cake pops and pizzas together. So yeah, but Kayo was absolutely sweet, and his fans, the two girls that I interacted with, were absolute sweethearts. They don't need to be so shy. He's really chill, I promise. Croc, this one's definitely one that has been on Bloop Chat before, one that I was trying to match up with but failed. But absolute goofball, absolutely love him. Would love to talk with him some more. Again, there were some other people who wanted to go chat with him who were maybe a little bit more familiar with his content, or maybe had a little bit more of an easier time talking to him than I did. So I'm like, okay. I said my goodbyes. I thanked him, and I stepped away. But absolute sweetheart, absolute great guy. I like Crocs. They're nice on my feet. So funny thing, when I looked up Croc VTuber, I just kept on getting VTubers who had Crocs as part of their models. And I'm just like, this is not what I wanted. I wanted the actual VTuber. I did find like an old VTuber model of his. I believe it was his Live 2D, but I wanted to use his an image of his 3D model. But yeah. Next up, Vampire Odessa. This one was not a part of the VRC meetups. She was a wandering VTuber who was carried with GIF. I couldn't find a good image, so GIF. I couldn't find like a good image of her, so I used a GIF. But Odessa was super kind and super sweet to talk to. She was carried by Rice Nation via tablet, microphone, and camera, so Odessa could see us and hear us, and we could hear her. And I can only imagine how tiring that must be to carry that for X amount of time. So thank you so much, Rice Nation, for for the sacrifice of your time. And that is it in terms of the slides that I have. Oh, Odessa, super sweet, immediately got like where I got my name, where I got Lacrimosa from. And I'm just like, yes, you know exactly what. But because I was sitting on the floor and Rice was standing and holding the iPad at an awkward angle so we could both see each other, I feel bad. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and let you wander. Thank you so much for talking to me, and and we said our goodbyes. Yeah. But yeah, there were a couple people who were a part of the VRC, the VTuber Research Club, who were also VTubers themselves, that I didn't add on here. One of them being Chiffon Chevlar, who I spoke with a pretty lengthy amount. Chiffon does stream here on Twitch, and then Kozumi Kaito also streams here on Twitch. Has is also a part of it, if I remember correctly. And all of them were just like super sweet and super kind. So would highly recommend checking them out at some point. If you haven't, I am a little bit disappointed in myself that I didn't add them in, into the things. But I also wasn't entirely sure if they wanted to be a part of the slideshow. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure any of these people wanted to be a part of the slideshow. I just did it. But yeah. Wee. So, we are going back to character and chats. Ha ha ha. But yeah. That was what I did for Sakanmi. Most of the con was spent no closing slide. Brain hurt. I was super behind already, so I'm like, no. We returned to Le Garden. Yeah, we returned to the Constellation Garden. But yeah. Let me see. But yeah, that was my Sakanmi, aside from being hot and then the con management being a little bit lackluster. This year I had a really good time. There was some drama that happened regarding one of my friends. I have a You want to know what a highlighted go, bro? That will be a fail. You'll have to repeat the class since the presentation was your entire grade. No, don't tell me that. No. It highlighted twerking for sex-based terms. Which honestly, fair. That's probably the one time where Automod is correct. On something. But yeah, that was my con. I spent most of it wandering around by myself. There's one more item that I didn't show, but it is a surprise from my friend. I don't know if my friend's gonna come back and watch this VOD. Probably not, but I didn't want to share. So I'm hoping that he will enjoy it when I eventually ship these out to him. But Sakanmi was a lot of fun. Sakanme was a lot of fun. I did have my gripes with management, and how they placed things. But this year, the vendors and artist alley was super big. It was really nice, especially for the vendors and artists who wanted to get in. The autographs were moved upstairs to the main ballroom, where we usually host the main events. So they had plenty of space as well, instead of like everything being kind of crammed into the downstairs area. The panels, or the fan panels were only relegated to 2 rooms and run on a very tight schedule. So that was a little bit sad, but honestly it made sense. There were a couple panels that I would have loved to attend it, such as voice practice or visual novel VA practice. Would have loved to attend that, along with Making 101, and foam armor building demo was one that I would have loved to attend and watch, but I am awful at setting timers and checking my phone and the time, so I'm just like, But yeah, the only panel that I went to was the droid building one. I did mean to go to one of the Critical Role panels, but again, very bad at keeping track of time, especially when I'm in a place with no clock. There should be a clock. But yeah. Oh, and then there was a little bit of drama that happened with my friend. My friend sells anime-themed cakes and cartoon-style treats. They have a business called Ray's Got Cakes, and and every year that I've been attending SAC Anime, they have been vending just outside of the con, within walking distance, because the convention will not let them in for whatever reason. They let a freeze-dried home candy company in that freeze dries the candies in their kitchen. Why won't they why won't they let my friend vend inside the con where it's nice and cool? But the cakes that she has, so she has 6 different types of cakes. 3 of them are One Piece themed, themed after the Worst Generation, the top 3 of the Worst Generation. So we have Luffy, which is a strawberries and cream cake with yellow cake. We have a I almost said Edward Lowe. No, we have a Eustace Kid. I guess cake is messy and they don't necessarily want messy food in the place. I would agree with that, except that they sell chips, they sell ice cream, they sell smoothies, they sell nachos, hot dogs, candies, and sodas, and ramen. So the messy thing doesn't make a whole lot of sense, especially since it's contained in a small little plastic jar for ease of eating and cleaning. So I don't 100% believe that. There's even a Starbucks attached to the convention, so I don't believe the no mess thing. Yeah. Especially since most people, they buy the cake, they buy the food, they find someplace to sit down or chill and eat, and then they go wander the con. People are very respectful of the prints and of the merch that's being sold at the cons. They don't want to be the ones who mess it up. The fuck? So it highlighted 3. It highlighted 3 things. It highlighted hot dog, ass hot dog like a bomb, and a sausage. I'm gonna allow this because this is food. What do you mean sex-based? Yeah, so every year my friend applies to Hot Dog and Sausage. I can kind of see that just because of Sausage Party and that movie being filled with innuendos, but like, it's food. But anyways, my friend does ask for a stand. They do ask for a spot within the convention. The convention repeatedly turns them down for more popular food stalls like Dippin' Dots and a smoothie stall that I haven't heard of and a popcorn stall. I want the cakes. But yeah. I was talking about the types of cakes that she has. I already talked about the Luffy cake, which is strawberries and cream with yellow cake. The Eustace Kid one, which is oh dear God, it is velvet with cream cheese, very classic. And then the Law one, which is cookies and cream. It's an Oreo cake, and that one's really good. Then for the ice cream sandwiches that they had this year, they had a Cookie Cat ice cream sandwich, which is a chocolate cake with vanilla and strawberry ice cream. Absolutely delicious. Would get again. We'll probably get again in the wintertime, but in the wintertime they don't sell it as ice cream. They sell it as like a cake, I guess. But carrying on with the other Steven Universe themed ice cream sandwiches that they had a plain pearl themed cake or ice cream sandwich. So it was yellow cake with vanilla ice cream. Very simple, very safe, very good. And then the fun one is the Steven Universe ice cream sandwich one, which is a strawberry cake with strawberry ice cream with shortcake crumbles. Also very good. Want to get again. But yeah. And then the three other cakes that Ray has is all themed after Pokemon. So they had a cake called Vine Whip, which is themed after Bulbasaur. And it is a yellow cake with white chocolate and raspberry. Absolutely delicious, and definitely one of my favorite looking cakes, or one of my favorite cakes aesthetically speaking. And then they had a Togepi cake, which is funfetti with sprinkles and mascarpone cream on top. Another one that's really good. I'm not a big fan of mascarpone, but still very good, still very cute, still very on brand for Togepi. And then the last one is a Hollow Eve. It's an Eevee themed cake, and it's pumpkin spice, and it's so good and perfect for the fall season. Throat was starting to hurt. Ooh. So yeah, those are the products that she sells. They're all very good. They're all very done well. So if y'all ever are in the Sacramento area and you're coming to Sac Anime, would highly recommend checking out Ray's little stall that she has outside of the con, because con will let her in. Anyways, going to the drama. So Friday, she usually doesn't vend on Friday. She usually doesn't sell on Friday. Saturday and Sunday is usually when she comes, but she was able to do that this year. So she goes to set up in her usual spot, which is on technically business property. Business comes out and like, you can't vend here, not on our property. See the tile. You can't vend on our property. Ray's like, okay. So she moves over closer to the Hyatt, where she unfortunately got blocked by another vendor, just because there's not really a good place for this vendor to park. This vendor being Straw Hats. And I'm pretty sure you can guess by the name. Straw Hats, they sell One Piece themed slushies and drinks. Super fantastic, super nice guys. Absolutely will buy again from them in the summer or even in the winter. They're vending in the winter. But she has a good relationship with them, and they have an ongoing deal where they're just like, because the Straw Hats, they don't sell food, Bray doesn't sell drinks. They have an ongoing deal with each other, like, well, if you're thirsty, go check out my friend. If you're hungry and you want something sweet, go to this person. They have that going on for them, and it's super sweet and super wholesome, and I absolutely love seeing it. In comes third vendor. Third vendor sets up where Ray usually sets up, but it's just out of sight from the company so they don't get kicked out. A little bit annoying, not breaking the rules technically speaking. But they are selling cookies, cakes, and brownies, and water bottles and sodas as well. And their thing is all about buy some sweets from us, you feed the homeless type of deal. Overall, good cause. I like that. Little bit annoyed that they were in Ray's spot because Ray got kicked out and they weren't getting that same treatment. Ray actually cosplays as Tony Chopper from One Piece, and it's absolutely adorable. Ray did not choose good outfits for this con. They were all long sleeve and have multiple layers. They were all very well done and beautiful, but Ray. Anyways, Friday, nothing goes by aside from like mild annoyance from Ray that this third vendor was able to set up where she usually sets up with no issues. Day 2 of the convention rolls around. Ray gets there early, sets up in her usual spot, and is happy having a good time selling. Third vendor sets up right in front of Ray. You don't do that. That's technically not breaking any rules, but there is an etiquette to street side vendors. And that being, you don't set up your booth, your stand in front of another person. You can set it up beside that person. But you don't set it up in front of another person. That's just rude. That's just mean. That is the problem with Comic-Con South Africa. Shit's always in the warm part of the year. It was this weekend. It was over 20 Celsius. I don't know how people cosplay in heat. We suffer. We suffer, plain and simple. Yeah. Especially for those of us who opt to do more covered cosplay, so long sleeves and or layers, we just suffer, but at the very least our skin is protected. But anyways, third vendor sets up in front of Ray. Ray is obviously and very understandably very pissed and upset about this. Code enforcers come by and Ray's just like, I'm gonna send them over, I'm gonna talk to them. Come to find out that third vendor does not have their permits. Ray and the Straw Hats have their permits. The food trucks have their permits in order to sell on the streets, to have stands, to have food trucks and food carts. This third vendor did not, because they tried to set up at the Memorial Auditorium where you are not allowed to set up. They didn't do the research. From our understanding, it looks like they were like, ooh, this person's doing this thing. We can do that thing, and we can do it better and cheaper. Let's go. They didn't, from the information that I've gathered from Ray, they didn't do any research whatsoever. What papers they needed, where they could and could not sell, and things like that. Ray did. Ray's been vending at Sac Anime for a couple of years. I've known them for over 2 years. Where most of my day is spent talking to Ray if the weather allows it. Is standard for selling on street? Yeah, except I don't know what they expected. Yeah, I don't know. I wear jackets in Brazil so I can see people cosplaying in the heat. Yeah, people cosplay in the heat. There's some people who are a little bit more mindful about what cosplays they bring, and some who are not. I was one of the people who was not super mindful. I brought Todoroki with me, school uniform Todoroki, which is long sleeve, jacket, tights, and a skirt and shoes on top of a wig. And I'm like, no, I choose live, thank you very much. Because I boil. But yeah. So third vendor, they did not have their papers at all. There were people at the con. There was one person who was wearing like full chainmail and steel plate armor, and the high I think was like 30 degrees Celsius. So I'm just like, how are you not dead? One time I had a friend who cosplayed Nami because she didn't like the heat. I did see a couple Nami cosplayers. All of them were really good. All of them were fantastic. Perfect for the summer. But yeah. So, Ray sends over the code enforcers, find out that third vendor does not have the permits. Ray's just like, find out that the third vendor tried to throw Ray underneath the bus. As I mentioned many times already, Ray had their permits already in order to sell on the streets, to sell her treats. She already did all her research. She already got all of her shit figured out. So they're packing up. And things like that. Ray decides to go talk with this vendor and be like, just to kind of get some answers on why did they feel the need to set up in front of Ray's booth. Their answer was, did we disrupt your business in any way? No? Then be quiet. That was their answer. And as I said earlier, while technically not illegal to set up in front of somebody else's booth, there is a certain etiquette to that. Because their booth was practically covering Ray's, and if newcomers people who didn't know Ray would have thought that Ray and the third vendor were together. They were not. They were selling completely different products at completely different prices. Ray already had an established reputation amongst the congoers here. So like everybody was like, this is weird. This is not okay. Ray's like, I know. It's not. I hate this. I can't do anything about it though. But yeah. Short story short, the third vendor was just like, I'm putting my business above yours. I don't care what you have to say. Which I don't blame entirely, because like at the end of the day, it is a business. But both the third vendor and Ray and the Straw Hats even, they are small Black-owned businesses. Unfortunately, here in the States, if you are a person of color or you don't pass for white, you have to work a hell of a lot harder to get anywhere. And these people just decided to come on in and try and undermine what business was already there, which is not okay. It is not okay. And honestly, the thing, according to Ray at the very least, honestly, the thing that hurt the most was the fact that it was a small Black-owned business, just like Ray herself. But Sunday comes along. Third vendor still sets up, but they set up over by the Hyatt. They set up over by the Hyatt. Ray sets up in her usual spot. Third vendor is still not doing too well. They're selling all their sodas and all of their water bottles because it is too damn hot, and people are just like, cheap water, cheap drinks, okay, sure. But none of them were really interested in getting any of their cakes or any of their cookies or their brownies or anything like that. Everybody would go to Ray for that. And Ray sold out multiple times. Hi, Siggy. Hi. How are you doing? But yeah. End of the day, if you are a small business owner, don't try and undermine the people who are already there. Don't. Try and have a camaraderie. Try and have camaraderie amongst your peers. Doing good. How about yourself? I'm doing good. Discussing con and a little bit of drama that I witnessed. That being between my friend who is a cake vendor, who sells cakes outside of the convention because the convention won't let her in. And a third vendor who tried to undermine two businesses that were already established and already had good reputations there. Third business did not. Third business sold jack shit besides their sodas and their water bottles. Yee. I did buy 3 cakes from the third business. 2 of the cakes gave me stomach ache, so I'm like, you know what? I'm good. They also tasted exactly the same, the 2 cakes that I got, even though I ordered 3 different flavors. They looked exactly the same and they tasted exactly the same. So I'm just like, But yeah. I am looking forward to the winter convention, and I'm looking forward to seeing Ray again, because even though we both have each other on Discord, we're both god awful at talking to each other. We're both so bad at talking to each other, so we only really see each other and talk to each other on at the conventions. Ooh, but a little bit of happy note. Ray did get invited to take part in SAC Eats, which is a nonprofit organization, to vend and sell her cakes there. SAC Eats, if I remember correctly from the guy's spiel, is it's a nonprofit organization to help feed the homeless, and Ray got invited to it, and I'm just like, yay! We love a happy ending. But yeah, no. So, I have so many pings on my Discord. What is going on? Da da da. Da da da. Alright. But yeah, second me. Whole lot of fun. We'll definitely go again next come the next con. And let me see. I don't know what you did, GoPro. You're gonna have to bug Pinging Rose. Oh no. No, it was other people who were pinging me instead. But yeah, now onto some changes that will be happening in the future. Yeah, because that concludes the con. That concludes the con thing and the show and tell that I did. Yeah. But onto some changes that will be happening in the future. Starting with probably the biggest one, and that being stream times. I'm currently in the process of looking for another job. I didn't lose my other one, but my other one isn't giving me the hours that I need to like live, if that makes any sense. um so other job, a second job is something that I need to get so I can continue to go to conventions and do fun things that I want to do. Because just one job is not gonna do it. That being said, the times when I usually stream, which yes, they are weird, they are bizarre, they are like midday for me. For me, Pacific Standard Time or Pacific Daylight Time, whichever time management you use. For me, once I get a secondary job, and depending on when the shifts are, my streams will be moving towards the nighttime, my time. So like 9:30 p.m. PST to 10 p.m. PST, which honestly might be a little bit better. But yeah. So my streams will be like super early or super late for you guys, and I apologize for that, but unfortunately, because I do need a secondary job, I can't do much about that. That being said, while I may not be able to stream as often or as long, just because I still do live with my parents and they need their sleeps, words, my goodness. While I may not be able to stream for as long or for as often, I do plan on making some secondary content for you guys, whether it is deep dives into historical fashions or something like that, or character analysis, or voice packs that I need to figure out how to do. 9 p.m. PST is 6 a.m. for me. Yeah, because I know it's during a time when Govro should be going to sleep. But streams, I will start transitioning to a later stream start time, just so that way it's not too jarring. 1 a.m. for Govro sleep. You need to sleep, my dude, especially since you are in college, you're in university, you need to sleep. Let me mother hen you. Yeah, I do plan on making some secondary content for you guys to maybe hopefully tide you over to when I'm next able to stream. This week I'm able to stream as I usually do, which is like 11 a.m. my time, which I apologize for you guys. I know it's probably like super late or stupid early for you, but I appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me all the same through all the stuff and all the nonsense that happens. But yeah, with that, when I do start making voice packs, I need to purchase some and figure out and dissect it and figure out how they do that. Let me see. I was gonna say it's funny how Rose doesn't do that for me, but then I realized I actually sleep at not that bad hours when it's a weekday. Yeah. I don't care what you guys do on the weekend, but school nights, I will bug you guys. I will bug you guys. I will mother hen you to go to sleep on time. I'm waving my wand around. I'm normally free like Monday and majority Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and I'm always free on Sunday. Basically, my free time is all over the place. Same. But yeah. Words. Oh yeah, I need to purchase some voice packs and like quickly dissect it and figure out how they do that. This is for research purposes. So I will be doing school nights. It's 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. to get up at 6 a.m. sometimes 7 a.m. That's still a little bit too late and not enough sleep for my personal liking, but if it works for you, then it works for you. Hmm. But yeah. Like on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, I can randomly get dragged by this horrifying thing called internship. Very scary place. I hope it's a paid internship. I know most internships aren't paid, but I hope it's paid. Let me see. Words. Oh yeah, voice packs. I'm guessing it's not paid. Voice packs. I will be posting voice packs on my Ko-Fi page, which I need to flesh out and make a little bit prettier. But it will be my voice packs will be available on my Ko-Fi page, and I do plan on opening up a Patreon. I think for Patreons, for patrons, I think I'm going to have like voice packs. Yeah, so corporate VTubers, they will release a thing called voice packs, where it's essentially like a roleplay scenario. So they have a script, they read the script a couple times over until they find the best takes, and it's kind of like a roleplay scenario. Those are the types of ones that I want to do. I also might do some fun, silly ones to annoy you guys forever. My belly is angry with me, probably because I haven't eaten yet today. I should maybe go heat up the fries. I should probably go do that, but so voice packs will be go eat bro now. The thing is that for the fries to taste good and to have a good texture, they need to be they need to be warmed up in the air fryer, and that takes a little bit of time. But yeah. So voice packs will be on Ko-Fi. Now you're doing the same as I do. The thing is that I have things that are quick to eat. If you don't eat, I'll call Mother Rose. Dude, I'm Mother Rose. Tells us to have healthier sleep, but Rose is just as bad with eating. Dude, I eat like once a day. Leave me alone. I'll call Grandma Rose then. There is no Grandma Rose at the moment. Actually, no, one of my grandmas is dead. Yay, cancer! Yay, dark humor. But Patreon, I do plan on opening that up as well. I do plan on opening up Patreon, and my Patreon will probably be where I do debut and model prep. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, I'll figure out pricing for that. It will probably be around the same amount that I would get from a Twitch sub for like debut prep streams and things like that, or like the behind the scenes of streams or videos, because I think that could be fun. But I think the starting streams or content that will be available on my Patreon will be like me streaming on Blender and working on my 3D model, and going into World Anvil and working on the story building for my world and things like that. I eat 2 to 3 times a day, excluding snacks that sometimes have. Yeah. I'm all out of snacks. I forgot. I bought pizza flavored chips. It sounds really, really weird, I know, but it is so good. I want more of them. I want more pizza chips. What's the poly count at, Rose? I'm still on the blocking out stage, so I'll get back to you on that. I still need to block out the feet and the head. I don't want to do the feet. The feet are so hard. The reason why I need to block out the feet is because I plan on having a barefoot design for my model. If that makes any sense whatsoever. I plan on having my model be barefoot, or as close to barefoot as Twitch will allow me. So the feet need to look good. Yeah, I gotta do face. I gotta block out the face too. Pain Club, yeah. I have a friend who's going to be like, I'm going to be your procrastinator. Haha. I've been watching someone make her own model recently. It looks like hell. Both Live 2D and 3D model making is absolute hell and torture, so I'm just like, going back to my Ko-Fi, face apologies, mate. It really is. There are things I'm like, how does this work? What math leads to this? Honestly, I feel like most people are just like, screw around and find out. I feel like that's most people when it comes to topology and rigging. And then UV unwraps. UV unwraps are terrifying. They're so scary. I don't know why they're so scary. They're so scary. But yeah. Going back to my Ko-Fi. I mentioned this earlier. I mentioned this earlier in my stream. I did open up a Ko-Fi and a Stream Elements tipping page. Y'all do not have to donate if you do not want to, or if you don't have the funds to do so. However, would greatly appreciate it because I'm like $50 short on rent. I live with my parents. It is fine, but a subscription happened before my rent happened, and I could not get it switched over to my credit card. So I love when that happens. But yeah. But yeah. Do not feel obligated to donate. I do get money back from the hotel that they were holding for incidentals shortly. So yay. But yeah, do not feel obligated to do so. I will be okay. But if you want to help me out, would greatly appreciate that. Blender UV unwrapping looks more painful than 3ds Max. With 3ds Max, I select faces and I can move and scale how they fit on the texture. I can do that for one face or multiple faces. That sounds lovely. For Blender, we have to mark out the seams and then unwrap via the seams. It's a very simplified explanation for something that is so confusing. But yeah, that's why topology is super important in Blender, because if you do the topology right, then the seams will more or less already be unwrapped, which is fantastic, theoretically speaking. But yeah. Let me see. I think that is it for all I have to talk about. Today was a short stream, and I apologize for that. Just because the big life updates for I'm going to be getting a second job, which means I won't be able to stream at my usual times, and they will most likely be at a more inconvenient time. You kind of do the seams too, but seams are done when you select the faces and then click the apply button. Then you scale it and move it on to the texture. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this stream. Yeah, I apologize for how short it is and for my very late start. It was for a good reason. It was to make the slideshow. Slideshow took forever. Thank you for the stream. Happy you're back. Yeah, head pat. Did I? Yeah, I have Mixitbot. Yeah, there it is. There it is. But yeah. Please. If any of the VTubers that I talked about interest you, please go check them out. They were all such a joy to talk with, and I would love to talk with them some more. We are actually going to go ahead and raid Kaito. Kaito is currently playing Mario Kart World, so yeah, Mario Kart! But yeah. Yeah. But thank you so much to everybody for this stream, for coming by. And I hope you guys have a good evening, a good day, a good afternoon, a good night, and a good morning. This is Lacrimosa Rose signing off. Take care, and until next time, bye bye!